In this morning's Money Watch, cutting back can cost you. Now, most of us try to save a few bucks here and there, but good intentions don't always pay in the long run. And CBS News business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is here to explain how being a little too cheap can really hurt you in the long run. But let's first talk about what's really at risk, though, when you do cut some corners in some spots.
Yeah, I mean, and Chris, this is really a matter of a finite set of things, which we'll talk about today, where if you cut corners now, you will likely end up paying a much larger amount of money down the road. And in some cases, you could even go broke.
This is something Erica and I were kind of kidding around about first. You've got people out there that think, I'm healthy, I'm fit, I don't need to spend extra money on health insurance, but you say that is a surefire way to really go broke.
It's a huge mistake, and it can certainly make you broke if you get into an accident or if you have an unexpected illness. So what we recommend is catastrophic or high deductible coverage. This is coverage for healthy people. You're not necessarily going to get paid for every time you go to the doctor, but in the event of an emergency, you will be covered. And look for a policy with a deductible upwards of $20,000. It'll run you about $600 a year, and it could save you literally from bankruptcy, because in the event of these emergencies, you could literally go bankrupt.
You do need some coverage for catastrophic, because you just never know what can happen.
Right.
When. What about life insurance?
Well, life insurance is very important for people, because if you are depended upon by anyone, whether it's a spouse, children, parents, if you don't have life insurance and in the unfortunate case that you pass away, those people aren't going to be covered. So look for term life insurance. That's usually less expensive, and it still does the trick.
Buying food, buying clothing in bulk at some of the superstores, is that a smart move financially?
Well, it can be, but it can also really lose you a lot of money. Here's the thing. All the retailers are trying to maximize their profits. How do they do that? Well, they maximize your interest in their products, and they cut prices. You end up spending more sometimes if you buy the supersized items, if you buy the buy one, get one free items, if you buy the coupon items. So be wary of that at the store, and don't fall into the traps.
40% of Americans do their own taxes. You fall into that 40%.
I do.
I'm one of the 60% who couldn't even imagine doing his own taxes. But this is a way people really need to kind of be aware of some of the nuances out there as well.
You absolutely have to. And here's the thing. If you have a simple tax return and you've done it before and you know how to do it, you're in the okay camp. But if you have a complex tax return, let's say you've changed jobs, you've lost a job, you've changed your marital status, you've changed your housing status, those are the things that say you may want to look to a professional for help. Because if you file the taxes and you do it wrong, the IRS comes knocking on your door. It is not a pleasant experience, nor is it a cheap one, because you'll end up paying a penalty in addition to interest on what you would have owed.
I want to talk about maintenance fees and maintenance issues on both your automobile and your home. You're better off heading off problems before they become massive problems.
You're so much better off heading off those problems, from oil changes to filling your tires with gas. You can actually save mileage if you do these things and do the random upkeep of your car. If you're not doing them, all of a sudden you get into bigger issues like engine failure, which goes from a $40 problem to a multiple thousands of dollar problem.
Just change the oil every couple thousand miles.
That's right.
All right. Rebecca Jarvis, thanks. Good to see you this morning.